All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday morning here. And if you're tuning in live, comment hashtag live. If you're tuning in, watching the replay, comment hashtag replay, drop some comments below, ask some questions, right? Here to help you guys out. And today we're going to be talking about how self-sabotage actually kills your weight loss progress and what you can ultimately do about it. Because oftentimes we get in our own way. And before we really get into anything, like if you don't know who I am, my name is Miles Wold. I own and operate the Winner's Mindset Fitness Academy. This is a specific fitness academy for blue collar guys like yourself who are struggling with low energy, overweight, a lot more body fat, low muscle mass, fast food, gas station snacks, not really having the structure you need to make fitness part of your life for the rest of your life, right? Fitness isn't something you do for a month, 4 months. It's something you do for the rest of your life. It's something you continuously work at because you never really graduate from the school of fitness. And with that, what I do is help get those guys, blue collar guys, the exact structure they need to get in shape, to perform as better leaders in their business, better leaders in their family, ultimately lose 30 pounds in 90 days, build muscle, have more energy so they can perform at their best in every area of their life. Now, with all this is, how self-sabotage kills your weight loss progress. Because maybe you've tried a lot of things in the past. I know I have, you try a lot of things in the past, these low carb diets, carnivore, detox, smoothies, going to the gym 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and burning out, right? Doing these super low calorie diets and you're just completely drained of energy, right? And what often comes to mind is, maybe you've tried all these things and maybe you've seen great progress. Then what often happens is people kind of fall off from those. And, large part and parcel with that is a lot of times those are meant to be more rapid solutions to a bigger problem, to a bigger symptom, if you will. But what I'm really trying to get at is, if you're seeing really good progress, maybe you've seen really good progress in the past and then kind of slipped, is kind of where we're getting ourselves in our own way. We have some self-sabotage coming in. And what happened, a really story that really comes to mind is from a client of mine who, he started missing his workouts. He was making really good progress 3 to 4 months. And then he started missing his workouts. Stress was going up, sleep was going down, business was taking over, and everything was going towards, making the business work, right? And then ultimately the performance in the business kept declining because the workouts weren't happening, the meals, wasn't eating properly, going back to bad habits, not sleeping as much, stress was going through the roof, just not being present in all those areas of life. And part of that was he was seeing great progress for 3 to 4 months, but things weren't going fast enough for him, right? Things weren't going fast enough for him. So the feeling of self-sabotage and giving up started to creep in. And what we actually did was sat down, we jumped on a call, said, hey man, like what's really going on, right? We had to start, not from the beginning, if you will, but really get a good understanding of what's going on right now and what we need to adapt, right? So instead of doing our 4 or 5 day workouts a week, where he was really consistent with that before, we dropped it down to 3, more manageable. We really looked at what he was eating right now. We really looked at sleep and stress. And what often happened was he was just drained of energy because he had been in a deficit for so long. He had made really good progress in 3 to 4 months, but we forgot to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, right? We really forgot to zoom out and look at the bigger picture and see like how far he's come 3 to 4 months from now, 3 to 4 months from where he was before. Because before he wasn't even going to the gym, wasn't eating well, wasn't sleeping well, stress was really high, business wasn't really performing. So over 3 to 4 months, he completely did a 180 for the best in his life. And then there's that self-sabotage where things aren't going fast enough, right? Whether it's in business or fitness and all that kind of stuff, right? We have that mindset where speed is important, and it is. We really want to apply ourselves as fast as possible. However, every body is different, every individual is different. And the speed and growth at which you do is going to be individual to you as a person, right? And because of that, we can compare ourselves to other people. We get discouraged. We see how well other people are doing. And we think, well, he's doing XYZ, I'm doing XYZ. Why is my progress a little bit slower? Well, it's because you are an individual. This is you, right? And there are things we can speed it up for sure. However, that will go at the rate at which you grow as an individual, right? And ultimately, we get in our own way from making continuous progress, right? You get discouraged because things aren't going fast enough and start to consider yourself a failure. Again, whether this is in business or in the fitness end of things. But often the case, we just forget to zoom out and really see the bigger picture and how far you've come. And that's really the very first thing you can do to actually fix this kind of mindset, to actually fix the self-sabotage so it doesn't keep happening, right? Because you can continuously make progress. This isn't something you have to stop and go, make progress for 6 months, fall off for 6 months, and then restart back to where you were for 6 months. Now that's discouraging, right? So how you make progress and get yourself out of this mindset is be grateful for the progress you've made and how far you've come. You can write down a list. You start with 10 things, pen and paper. Be grateful for everything over the last 3 months, 4 months, like what has been going well. And then go for another 10. Go for another 10. Next thing you know, you've got 30, 40, 50, and you're really in the flow of things. You're really in the flow of things, and you really get to zoom out and you get to see like, shit, like this is going well. This is still going well. This has gone well. This is still going well right now. Why would I ruin that? Why would I trip myself over that? So that's a really important mindset to have. The second thing you can do is get out of your own way, right? What are the friction points in your life? What are things that are making it difficult to accomplish your fitness goals, right? Maybe your schedule is getting crazy and need to adjust your workouts and meals, right? Just like what we did with my client. It's super simple to hop on a call, kind of look at where the schedule's at right now, where time is going right now, see if we need to change anything, right? Maybe we don't. Maybe we just need to say, hey, we need to buckle down on sleep, we need to buckle down on eating better, and that energy will come. But often the case after 3-4 months of being in a calorie deficit, literally eating, burning more energy than what you're bringing in, you will get to a point where things start to hit a wall, right? And that is really like a friction, a sticking point where people start to lose momentum, start to self-sabotage, and start swinging back to where they were before. So that's a really important time where, we can eat a little bit more after that period, right? Maybe move up to maintenance for maybe 3 days, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, depending on where your stress is, depending on how your sleep is, depending on how you're feeling psychologically, how your workouts are going, right? Because food is fuel. And if we're constantly in a place where we're eating less and burning more, our body does get to a point where it says, hey, I can't do this anymore. And then your mind starts going back to those past habits. Okay. Now, the thing on top of that is maybe you need to focus more on sleep and reducing stress, right? Like in the line of work in the blue collar world, it is high stress. There is a lot on your plate, and that's good. There's a lot of responsibility. And often the case, we just need to sleep more and maybe eat a little bit more, again, for maybe 2-3 days. That stress comes down, we're able to go hard on the pain again, right? And then another one is maybe you need to change the story you tell yourself to focus on the change of who you want to become, instead of beating yourself because you're unhappy right now, right? And it's okay to be unhappy. But beating yourself up in the present moment and forgetting to be grateful for what's been going well isn't going to help you. It's not going to help anyone around you. It's not going to help the business. It's not going to help your family. Taking ownership and being grateful will help you overcome this friction point. And it really does start with the words you tell yourself. So really pay attention to that. And we don't know what those words are until we become self-aware, right? So as the day goes on, listen to your own head. What are the words that are going on inside yourself? The words that you only tell yourself in your head that you don't say out loud. Those are the most important words, right? So really pay attention to that. Ultimately, my goal for what I do with my clients and here to help you guys out is to make fitness something you do for the rest of your life. Again, this isn't some kind of crazy diet. You burn yourself out after a month, you lose 50 pounds, and you get it all back again. My goal is to help make things sustainable as much as possible, right? Giving you the exact structure you need to succeed, making it sustainable so you can keep the weight off permanently, build muscle permanently, given that you stick with it, right? Like anything, like a muscle, the more you practice it, like a skill, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. Sales, marketing, delivery on your projects, craftsmanship, all that kind of stuff only gets better the more you practice it. So that's an important thing to really know, right? You want to get good at something, we got to practice it. We got to show up every day. And some days we're not going to feel like we want to show up, but those are the most important days we do, right? Showing up regardless of how you feel, right? So again, like, don't beat yourself up if you have a bad week, bad month, because it does not dictate the rest of your life or the identity of who you are and who you want to become, right? You can always choose to change. You can always change your story. You can always change your destiny. You can always change how you perceive something. You can always change your day for the better. You can always change your week, your month, your year, your life. You can become an entirely different person. But it all starts with today. It all starts with what's going on up here. So pay attention to that. Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Where are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Maybe there's an element that you feel like you don't deserve it. That's a tough conversation to have with yourself because you do deserve it. It just requires work. And in the beginning, you might not believe that. You might not believe that you don't deserve it, but the more you show up, the more you move forward, regardless of how you feel, that mindset will change for the better. And then you realize, yeah, you do deserve it because you put in the work to make it happen. So I'm going to leave with that today. Nice, short and sweet one. Love talking about this mindset stuff. If you guys have any questions about all that, some roadblocks, some sticking points, some friction points going on in your life, drop it in the comments. More than happy to help. Cheers.